what our report has found is that anti-democratic leaders around the world are using a really expansive toolkit of oppressive tactics in order to silence critics and to consolidate power. So we looked at 6 countries as case studies. 2 of those were Venezuela and Nicaragua. And what we found is that as both countries experienced democratic decline, the tool of political imprisonment has been used alongside that. Not only political imprisonment has been used, but also even beyond bars, there are further restrictions that are being applied to government opponents and critics, whether that's restrictions on travel or movement or banning access to employment or education, among just some of those measures. Really, anyone can become a political prisoner if they are perceived to be an opponent of an authoritarian regime that is using political imprisonment and as one of their tools to repress society more largely. Nobody is removed from the list of opponents who can be targeted. The list just keeps on growing. And that's what we're seeing in countries like Nicaragua or Venezuela or throughout the world. This report and our research shows that elections can be a major flashpoint for increased repression. And that would include things like politicized arrests, detentions, imprisonment. So just to take an example, in Nicaragua, for example, around the 2021 presidential election, there was also a spike in political imprisonment that we saw. So political imprisonment is a highly visible way that authoritarians can at least attempt to remove dissenters from society. But for every political prisoner that you see, there are likely countless other opponents and critics who are facing major difficulty leading a normal life, let alone being able to work to advance democratic change and human rights. We obviously can see that right now there is an international criminal court case looking into what's happened in Venezuela since 2014, including in the context of these arbitrary detentions that have happened. The group of experts on Nicaragua in their report last year said that some of the repression that they have documented may be in line with crimes against humanity. So that kind of shows the severity of what has happened in Nicaragua and Venezuela, including in the context of political detention or political imprisonment.